In this video, I'm going to help you sort through all the terrible advice and online business schemes you'll find online and tell you what is real and what's going to waste you time and money. Now, chances are this isn't your first start your own e-commerce business video that you've watched. Now, the web is littered with get-rich-quick schemes and outdated business models. Starting an e-commerce business is hard enough as is, but there's a lot of misinformation out there that can lead to costly mistakes. So I'm going to help you guys today by sharing some of the worst advice that I've come across this year. Now, the first piece of bad advice relates to finding profitable products to sell online. One guru is advising that you look at bestseller lists, find trending products, and sell them online. Now, on the surface, this sounds like great advice, right? If you find something that is popular, then there's going to be lots of demand and it should be easy to sell. Well, here's what most people don't tell you. By the time a product hits a bestseller list or a trending list, it's already saturated. Today, there are many tools out there that will tell you instantly what is trending and selling well across all marketplaces. For example, Jungle Scout will tell you what's selling well on Amazon. Zik Analytics will tell you what's hot on eBay. And Google Trends will tell you what people are searching for on Google. There's no scarcity of information online these days, and if you find a trending product using these tools or on social media outlets like TikTok, by the time you find a supplier and source these products, you've already missed the boat, and there'll be 1,000 sellers competing against you. Remember fidget spinners? My buddy Nick Shackelford actually used to sell these, and he hopped on the curve relatively early, so he was able to actually make a couple bucks. But this product eventually crashed and burned once everyone and their mother started selling them within 6 months. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, then make sure you sign up for my free 6-day mini course below. The next piece of bad advice that is way outdated is to find whatever products you can make a profit on and list them online for sale on Amazon. Now, once upon a time back in 2016, you could literally find something on Alibaba at really low prices, throw it up on Amazon, and it would sell. And the way the Amazon gurus were teaching e-commerce was that the type of products you sold did not matter as long as you could make a profit. So you'd see sellers selling a hodgepodge of random stuff like spray bottles, dog collars, toothbrush holders, and floor mats. Basically whatever they could find, they would just throw it up and it would sell. Well, today, Amazon is much harder, and you can't simply throw up random products and make a profit. Now, you might be able to make a couple bucks this way, but even if you were to find something good, you would eventually get knocked off and the price would spiral to the bottom. So listen up. As a successful e-commerce store owner that's been selling the same family of products for over 15 years, I'm here to tell you that selling a jumble of random disparate products online is a recipe for disaster. When you're just starting out, it's crucial to have a clear focus and a consistent product offering that aligns with your brand and your target market. Trust me, I've seen it time and time again. Entrepreneurs try to sell everything under the sun, and it just doesn't work. You are diluting your brand, making it harder to market and promote your products, and creating confusion for your customers. Now, can you imagine if you visited my handkerchief store over at Bumblebee Linens and found that I sold cell phones and dog biscuits too? Not to mention, if you're not an expert in the products that you're selling, it's going to be hard for you to provide accurate and detailed product information. It's going to be hard for you to understand exactly what your customer wants, which will lead to a high number of returns and negative reviews. Selling random disparate products also means that you'll have problems ranking in Google search. These days, when Google crawls the web, it is categorizing a website based on what it thinks you are good at. So if you sell pet supplies and Google sees lots of products and content related to pets, well, then Google will put you in the pet supplies bucket and you'll have a higher chance of ranking for pet related pages. But let's say you decide to sell yoga mats on your pet supplies website because you found a great deal on yoga mats on Alibaba. Well, then guess what? That's going to confuse Google. Is this site about pets or yoga? And at this point, Google won't know what to do with your site and you'll end up not ranking for anything. So bottom line, if you want to be successful in e-commerce, you need to be laser focused on a specific niche and build your brand around that. If you sell pet products, focus on pet products and do not sell something random just because you can make a quick buck, because it will hurt you in the long run. General stores never rank well in search. Another piece of bad advice that I've heard online is that niche online stores are dead. Amazon owns over 50% of e-commerce, so why even bother selling anywhere else? Well, here's what they don't tell you. Well, Amazon is getting harder and harder to make money. Not only has Amazon consistently raised prices over the years to squeeze sellers, but it's perhaps one of the most cutthroat and evil marketplaces to sell on. Here's just a short list of what evil sellers do to purposely sabotage other sellers. They create fake buyer accounts to leave negative reviews on competitors' products. Usually a string of bad reviews will actually lead to a suspension. They use automated tools to repeatedly click on your ads, driving up your advertising costs. They make fake reports on your listings for violations of Amazon's terms of service in an attempt to get you banned. They'll copy your product listings, including images and descriptions, to create a nearly identical listing and steal your sales. They'll send fake warnings to Amazon to file false infringement claims against your listings, which almost always leads to a suspension. For Amazon, it's actually guilty until proven innocent. And they'll create many different seller accounts to purchase their own products and artificially inflate their sales numbers. In fact, there's a podcast episode that I recorded with my friend Kevin Williams where malicious sellers knocked off his product and packaging with his face on it, sold inferior product under his listing, and basically destroyed his entire product line. Now, even though he owned the trademark and the patent for his products, Amazon did nothing. And after 2 years and many millions of dollars spent on lawyers, Amazon eventually took down these evil sellers, but the damage had already been done. One of my students in my class, Amanda Wittenborn, she sells her own party supplies and has had numerous listings of hers taken down for copyright infringement when she actually owns the copyright and designs all of her own stuff. Amazon is not what it's cracked out to be. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't sell on Amazon, but that you shouldn't put all of your eggs in Amazon's basket. It is near impossible to build a brand on Amazon. Here's another piece of horrible advice that I recently found watching a YouTube ad. This person, who obviously sells advertising courses, said that pay-per-click advertising is the most consistent and reliable way to generate sales online. He then went on to say that you should focus all of your efforts on paid advertising because it's deterministic and you are in full control. Now, first off, I'm all in for advertising and I spend tens of thousands of dollars a month on paid advertising that is profitable. But I would never say that you should focus all of your efforts on paid ads, nor are you ever in full control. When it comes to paid ads to acquire customers, the winner is always the person willing to spend the most money. If you don't have high converting ad copy, or if your margins aren't that good, then you will be priced out and it will be hard to make a profit on ads. PPC ad costs have gone up in the double digits year over year, and they will continue to rise. In order to make ads work, your margins have to be good and you have to have a compelling product. Running ads will not fix poor margins or poor product. You're also not in control. Remember when Apple released iOS 14? Basically, the new privacy policies that Apple issued on this OS release decimated Facebook ads. So many companies who relied on Facebook ads for all their sales went bankrupt. Now, PPC ads are a great way to acquire new customers, but you should never depend on them. Instead, this is what you should do. Now, I've been teaching e-commerce for over a decade now, and what I've found is that people are generally so obsessed with acquiring new customers that they neglect to focus on their existing ones. And according to studies, it is 65% easier and cheaper to convert existing customers than it is to acquire a new one. And I sincerely believe that these numbers are conservative. The real number is actually much higher. Let's take my store as an example. I sell handkerchiefs and linens to the wedding industry. Now, you might think that I don't get a lot of repeat business because people only get married once, right? Actually, the divorce rate here in the US is close to 50%, so technically people might get married more than once, but I digress. My repeat purchase rate is only 12%. But guess what? That 12% makes up over 36% of our annual revenue. Now, how is this possible? Here's what we do. First off, we have a loyalty program where people who just love our products can get free linens after they purchase a certain amount. Think of it like a frequent flyer miles for an airline, except for handkerchiefs. We also have automated processes in place that send emails to our existing customers recommending related products to get them to buy again. For example, we sell 3 flavors of napkins in our store: cocktail napkins, tea napkins, and dinner napkins. If someone buys dinner napkins in our shop, then we automatically recommend our matching cocktail and tea napkins via email. But most importantly, we look at our customer list and treat our best customers like royalty. Here's exactly what we do. We go through our purchases and find people who have purchased an abnormally large quantity of product. So for example, if someone buys 40 dozen napkins, chances are they are a wedding or an event planner. So we get on the phone, call them up, and offer them a special coupon code and a dedicated representative to handle their future orders. And by offering our best customers special treatment, particularly event and wedding planners, they buy from us forever. In fact, even if we turned off ads 100%, our store would be just fine. So moral of the story here is to focus on your existing customers just as much or even more than new customer acquisition. Which brings me to my next piece of the worst advice that I've ever seen. So far, we talked about establishing a strong brand as a way to start an e-commerce business today. But what exactly is a brand? A brand is essentially a promise to your customers that you will deliver a high-quality product or service based on name recognition alone. So for example, people buy Apple products because they deliver great quality products with an amazing design. I buy Tide laundry detergent because that's what I've been using for years. When you have a strong brand, people will buy from you even if they find cheaper prices elsewhere. People will buy from you just to support your brand whenever you have a new product release. So what is the best way to establish a brand for your business? Is having a trademark name and a website good enough? Not even close. The best way to establish a brand is through content creation. After all, you can't establish a brand and get people to like you unless you put yourself out there and communicate with customers. So here's what we do with our online store. On our blog, we put out DIY craft tutorials that brides love. Now this content is 100% free, useful, and our customers love them. Our most popular craft is our wedding dress hankies, which are these cute miniature wedding dresses that can be monogrammed and make excellent gifts. By giving away content and information for free, customers are much more likely to remember us and buy from us. Incidentally, content is also the best way to rank in Google search. Another example is this YouTube channel that you guys are watching right now. Right now you're watching this video, and if you resonate with all the advice and tutorials that I've been giving you, you are much more likely to make a purchase from me. Right now, I sell a course that is thousands of dollars, and I have over 5,000 students in the class. Now, would these 5,000 people have bought from me without seeing my content? No way. Even the best sales page in the world will have problems converting new customers unless there's compelling content behind it. So if you're going to start an e-commerce business today, make sure you set aside some time to create content. You can start a blog, a YouTube channel, a podcast, or you can just be active on social media. Doesn't matter what you choose, just pick one and focus on creating content on a regular schedule. Now, most of you who found me on YouTube probably aren't aware that I run a top 10 e-commerce blog over at mywifequitherjob.com and an e-commerce podcast called My Wife Quit Her Job that is literally one of the top 25 shows in all of Apple Podcasts in the marketing category. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Every piece of content that I put out brings people to me, and I never have to resort to sleazy sales tactics to get customers in the door. They always come to me. This is what you need to achieve with your e-commerce store. Now, if you don't want to produce content, at a bare minimum, you should do email marketing. Entice people to sign up for your email list by giving out coupons, quizzes, guides, tutorials, and then email your list regularly. Once you have email down, then sign up for an SMS provider and send text messages to your best customers. The more often you can bring people back to your website, the stronger your brand will be. Remember, you got to play the long game when starting any e-commerce business. If you ever see an ad that promises you can make money with very little effort, then just stop watching that ad. We live in a world today that is filled with information, but most of it is outdated or false. Now that you know what the worst advice is out there, follow this tutorial here for the right way to launch an e-commerce business today. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps that I would take if I were to start an online store from scratch right now.